Glasgow Commonwealth Games approaching and the anticipation in the Indian sporting camp as well as between the fans are actually the hitting the fever pitch. We at the Revsportz are bringing a Know Your Athlete series where we are going to discuss about the Indian athletes who are going to perform and represent India at the Commonwealth Game 2026 in Glasgow. And today we are going to talk about the Indian athletics. And usually when we talk about the Indian athletics, what comes in your mind? Sometimes the spotlight actually falls on the racing track, or sometimes we talk about the javelin. But today I want to take you over the high jump pit actually, because there is a very special and very extraordinary story unfolding there. And it is a story of a 31-year-old Sarvesh Kushare, who is actually the national record holder also. And he is going to make his debut at the Commonwealth Games at the age of 31. It is interesting, yes, for me as well, that not for someone actually who follows the Indian sports, and especially in the brutal event like the high jump, where your knees, your ankles, and your back take a massive beating every single day. Most athletes are bending down at this age, but for the Sarvesh, the script is actually different. He's doing the exact opposite in his career. He's peaking, he's defying gravity and heading to Scotland as one of the India's brightest and realistic medal prospects. If you want to understand that why there is so much fuss, so much hype around the debut of the Sarvesh Kushare, we have to look back at the historic night at the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar during the National Interstate Athletic Championship 2026, because Sarvesh there did what no Indian in the history had ever done. He cleared the bar at the 2.31 meter. And to put things into the perspective, let me tell you, for the years, 2.30 meter mark stood like an invisible, unbreakable psychological wall for the Indian high jumper. And by clearing 2.31 meter there, Sarvesh did not just smash the Tejaswin Shankar's long-standing national record of 2.29 meter, but he also shattered the mental barrier completely. He actually decimated that barrier, and his coach Jitin Thomas, who is currently training him, had once told him that nobody in India has ever cleared the 2.30 meter mark. And if you can do it, then for as long as people talk about the high jump in this country, they will remember your name first. And Sarvesh did not disappoint him. He ensured his name was written in the gold. And he backed that performance up weeks later at the Monaco Diamond League as well, where he actually debuted at the Diamond League for the first time and cleared the 2.26 meter to finish third on a global stage. And he did not just stop there. He beat some Olympians. There was a joint Olympic gold medalist. There was a Gianmarco Tameri. There was a if we talk about Mutajis Bursi and the world lead Adarsh Ram. So there are so many high jumpers in the fray, and Sarvesh beaten all of them, and that was a statement win for the Sarvesh. And he just told everyone that Indians are arrived at a global stage in the men's long jump as well. After rubbing shoulders with the finest high jumpers in the world at the Monaco Diamond League on his Diamond League debut and finishing third there, Sarvesh has already become the toast of the nation. But he was away from the limelight for the most of his career. He has a very humble beginning, and that's why his journey did not start in a high-tech facility, you can say. He actually started in a small village called Devgaon in Nasik, Maharashtra. When Sarvesh was a class 7 student, his school coach actually Revsportz, noticed something extraordinary in Sarvesh, because at that time Sarvesh was going toe to toe with the boys much older than him. But there was the biggest problem. There was no facilities actually available in his village, in his school, on his area. So when Sarvesh needed to transition from the seizure technique to the Fosbury technique, he desperately needed a landing pit to prevent the severe injury, but they cannot afford one. So his father, Anil Kushare, he actually decided, along with his coach Rao Sahab Jadhav and the villager itself, to make a jugaad type landing pit by themselves. So they gathered the dried corn stalks, they gathered cattle fodder, tailoring base, cotton, and a local operator actually donated a large sacks of rice. Another farmer gave him the dried flour paste, and that's how, they stuffed everything together to create a makeshift landing pit. During the school days, Sarvesh often competing with a barefoot because he do not have a stripe and he cannot afford one. And also, in fact, that his father actually convinced him to go to the engineering college, take admission, because he wanted a stable life for his son, because he knows that high jump is not a career. But Sarvesh Kushare has a different plan. He asked his father, he looked into the eyes of his father and said that all I wanted to become an athlete. After Sarvesh got a free hand from his father, he started competing at the state and the national level, bringing so many medals. But the turning point in his small career actually came in 2016, when Sarvesh secured a job in the Indian Army through the sports quota. He started training at the Army Sports Institute in Pune, where Neeraj Chopra also honed his skill, and Sarvesh got the much needed infrastructure and the professional guidance that he desperately needed for a long time. Currently, Sarvesh is actually training at the Anju Bobby George Academy. He is right now in Poland. He's training with Jitin Thomas, his coach, and he already turned into the world-class competitor. Jitin wants to compete against Sarvesh. It's interesting actually, and Sarvesh is a high-class performer, and the performance was on display at the World Athletic Championship, where Sarvesh finished sixth and became the first Indian high jumper to reach the final of the World Athletic Championship last year. So Sarvesh right now is free. The burden of competing and chasing the national record is currently off of his chest, and Sarvesh now is targeting 2.36 meter at the Commonwealth Game. He's targeting at Olympic podium, at the Commonwealth podium, an Asian podium, and Sarvesh is actually poised to become one of the best high jumper in Asia, if we can say. I mean, after the Mutajis for him, of course, but right now he's the best in the Asia. But at the Commonwealth Games, if we look at the competition is actually steep because there's a Hamish Kerr there competing as a world and Olympic champion. Although if we talk about the performance, Sarvesh this year has a better performance at the Hamish Kerr, but Hamish is known for performing at the big stage. Then there's another competitor from the Britain. His name is Jack Kimani. The young guy is actually coming up. Then there is a steep competition from his competitor as well because Adarsh Ram and Tejaswin Shankar will be there. So it is going to be interesting to see that how Sarvesh is going to perform at the Commonwealth Game and what mark is actually currently chasing at the Commonwealth Game. Also, although Sarvesh was talking to Revsportz and he said that he's currently not chasing the mark, he's actually chasing the podium. So see that how it is going to be for Sarvesh at his debut Commonwealth Game. But for that this is our first Know Your Athlete series. So let me know how good it was. Give your feedback, feedback in the comments as well, and let me know that the next athlete you want to see in our Know Your Athlete series. Until next time, keep supporting the Revsportz. Follow us, subscribe us, and let's keep cheering for Team India at the Commonwealth Games.